Oh, just excited to finally have game week upon us. It's been a long camp. We've been in camp for 3.5 weeks, and that's kind of just the way school started this year and the way the calendar fell. Longest fall camp we've ever been a part of, but it was really good for us. We stayed fairly healthy, which is always positive, but also just gives you 3.5 weeks to really get to know your team and pour into those guys. You're unlimited in terms of meeting time, walkthrough, practice, everything else. So gives you some great, extended periods of time to really develop some of your young guys and fine-tune some of your older guys. And then just, I think we had a great fall camp in terms of doing stuff other than just football and pouring in these guys and their daily lives and what they're about as men. And so that was a true blessing. But now you turn the page and we, wrap things up there with a kind of a mock game on Friday night. And so we got up to crack of dawn there Sunday morning and kind of started our first practice in terms of game week prep. And so here we go. We got Troy this Saturday night, 6 p.m. And so we'll kick off this 2023 campaign with a very formidable opponent out there in Alabama. But the guys are excited and should be a good trip and hopefully a good start for the Lumberjacks.
We'll go into the position battle. We'll go into the overview of the opponent. But last year in November, with a WAC championship trophy next to you, you were talking about how excited you were. Bring in the next group of Lumberjacks after highlighting B.J. Thompson, Xavier Gibson. Who from that group do you feel is standing out that Jack Nation will know when it comes to after this week?
Well, yeah, I don't know about just this week. Game to game, it's a little bit different. We're going to hold on to our hat and try to make a first down this week, but we'll have a good group this fall. That they are fun to coach, and I think a veteran group up front. No one knows who the O-linemen are, but if you're a true football fan, I think you'll have a chance to really take notice of our O-line. I think that's maybe the strength of our team. We've got 5 seniors up front, and they're really good players, good kids, and been around a while, and I think have been playing really well through fall camp. And with that, if we're able to establish a run game, we saw Jarrell Wembley have a really good freshman campaign. I think he was a finalist there for the Jerry Rice Award, and so hopefully he can pick up where he left off. He got banged up there a little bit towards the end of the year, but hopefully if he stays healthy, he can have a good year. And then defensively, I think you'll see some guys, shine in the back end, or that where I'd say probably is a strength of our defense is our secondary. We got 4 or 5 guys back there that have a lot of starts under their belt and have really had a good fall camp. And then everybody knows the specialists already. The punters and the kickers, deep snappers. That stable is really strong with Chase Reese, our deep snapper, Max Quick, our punter, and Chris Campos, our All-American kicker. So those guys have been really, really solid for 3 years now, and expect more good things out of that group. Hopefully Max doesn't have to punt too much this year, but he's a dandy.
Coach, a lot of times when you watch these FBS, FCS matchups, even in the games that kind of stay close, I think one of the things you notice is those FBS teams, man, they just wear you down in the trenches, wear you out up front. You were talking about those 5 seniors that you guys got on that offensive line. Do you think that alone kind of keeps you guys in a game with an opponent that's got more scholarships and all that stuff? I mean, that's an FBS offensive line you guys are trotting out there every week.
It is, but it's a depth thing more than anything. Just across the board. The different levels. They've just got so many more scholarships and more players with more length and more size and development too. It is. There's upsets that happen each week, and that's why you tee it up and play the game. But it is what it is. It's a money game, and it helps not just our football program, but all programs here on campus to play these games. You do it in basketball too. So it's important for us to go out there and play these games, and it's fun for us. We get to see a different part of the world, get to play in a big stadium. We're going to play the undefeated Sun Belt champions of 2022, and they're I think they were number 2 in the country last year in scoring defense, finished top 20 in FBS. So we're not just playing up, we're playing one of the premier team, one of the better teams of FBS football. And so that's fun for our players to go out and take the field and play with the very best. And it's, a challenge for us as coaches too. But a lot of respect for for this week's opponent, obviously, with what they've done, and hopefully we can get out there and like I say, make a game of it and see what happens.
How's the feeling in your locker room? I mean, obviously your guys know what kind of season Troy had last year, and they were a top 25 team, like you said, really good defense. Do you get the feeling that it's a nervous type thing, or do you think your guys are just amped up, like, hey, we've got this challenge in front of us and we want to go hit this thing head on?
Yeah, I don't think they're nervous. I think they're obviously they know what is at stake and what the everybody reads the paper and sees the line and everything else, and so they know we're underdogs going into it. But that's a good place to be, and we've played up several times. I mean, no one's played more FBS opponents than we have over the last 4 years in college football, and part of that's because we played the whole 2020 season through COVID, and played 3 FBS opponents last year. So we've been chipping away, and we've been 6 yards from knocking off the Red Raiders of Texas Tech, and played some close ones with UTEP and UTSA back in 2020, and so it'll be just a case for us to go out there, and I just want to see us get better. We understand our season's not it's not make or break it out there in Troy, Alabama. We need to get off to a good start. We need to get better as the game goes on, and establish ourselves as what our identity is going to be for this season. But then you come back and you try to get better between week 1 and week 2, and so on. And the championship programs are those that get better each week, not that just come out with their hair on fire per se. But I expect us to play well and expect us to put on a good performance out there, because the guys have been working hard. We've had a great offseason, and I think we have a good football team.
Everybody in Jack Nation knows that we've got a couple of really good quarterbacks on this roster, and I know you guys aren't putting out any info on who's going to take that first snap, but can you talk a little bit about those two guys and what you've seen in fall camp, and just real, I mean, you want your quarterback to be your leader, especially on that offensive side, and what you've seen from those guys, how you've seen them develop coming into this year.
Yeah, well, we are truly blessed to have both these guys, Preston Weeks and Brian Meyer, and both have really grown and done some good things through their career here, but also especially this year. And, Preston Weeks is, he's been with us now for 4 years. He actually got hurt this spring, and so he was, sidelined and was supposed to be out for an extended period of time. And that sucker has done a great job getting healthy and way ahead of time. So he was able to get cleared there before camp, and that was great to see. And he's picked up right where he left off. And Brian Myers continued to develop and grow here with us, and had a role with our offense last fall. Will continue, So both those guys are, like I say, guys we can win with. We're very blessed to have them. It's been fun to watch them just grow, develop, and mature through their time here. And so expect big things out of them this fall.
Got 4 guys in the NFL right now, and one of them getting a huge shout out from one of the best to ever do it, Aaron Rodgers. Just kind of giving small praise to Xavier Gibson. Weird to hear him say high praise to 82 instead of 2 on me personally, but talk about, as a coach, how that feels to hear one of your players getting high praise like that. Everybody else in the league, as preseason wraps up and we're getting ready for the NFL season to start.
Yeah, I thought it was great to see Xavier Gibson get high praise from number 8, and so little flip. Yeah, you get that. So, no, it's awesome. And I think Aaron Rodgers and Xavier have some pretty good chemistry already. Xavier actually spoke to our team this morning at our team meeting and kind of went in depth about that. And I think Aaron gives him a hard time throughout camp and practice. Xavier's Xavier. They've fallen in love with him up there with the Jets and that whole organization, just like we did here in Nacogdoches. And so he's doing a great job. I'm very confident in his future there in the NFL, and I think everybody's kind of seeing that through these preseason games. So it's been awesome to have 4 guys active right now and playing in preseason games, and I think you'll continue to see that. We've got some more young guys coming up and guys in our program this year that scouts are coming in and looking at, and so you can get there from here, and that's what kind of Xavier was talking about to the team today, and just a lot of the things that we preach as coaches. Sometimes it goes in one ear and out the other, but you hear it from an NFL guy, boy, howdy, it's gospel. And so, but we had a great morning this morning visiting with him. We had BJ on there on Friday, and so those guys have been. It's been pretty special to see those guys in there respective settings in the NFL, spend some time back with our guys and pouring into the Lumberjacks.
Thank you for your time, Coach. We'll see you at Troy.
Sounds good. Axe 'em.